everybody, and welcome to eCommerce Quick Fix, Cross-Border Magazine official podcast. Today is a happy day. It's a great day. We are with Ana Llorente. Ana, welcome. How are you? Ana is an amazing friend, and also she is an expert in content marketing, especially video content marketing. But I'm going to allow Ana to explain a little bit more what she's doing right now with SiteGround. I know you are leading the content strategy there, but tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I just started. I'm really new to the team, and I'm just here kind of give direction, give like a few ideas about how SiteGround could be heading to. So we will be working with blogs, with video, with all sort of channels. So yeah, I'm really excited, really to start this adventure and see what it takes me.
But let's start from the very beginning. Is content marketing dead? Yes, no, and why?
Well, hopefully not, because otherwise I wouldn't be here, and I would also not be at SiteGround. So I think content marketing will never die. I think the way that we do content marketing may change, and of course it will change. It has changed in the past, and it will change in the future. But it's all about how we adapt our strategies and our content to what it could look like today. But no, it's not dead.
Let's dive a little bit more in those changes, because that's a very interesting proposition you have there. Which ones do you think are the main changes, like, let's say 5 years ago till now, that we have suffered in the content marketing world?
Yeah, so I feel marketing is always about how can we sell our product, right? But now the user is more and more aware that we are trying to sell. So I think it's always like a race between, try not to sell, but sell at the end of the day. So I think it's all about adapting that content to be really valuable, to be, useful for the user, and it doesn't come across as if it's just like an advertisement.
Do you feel like SEO, it's an important part of content marketing? Is this something that you can just plainly avoid or not deal with that? I know it's a stupid question, but I have to. I mean, I need you to help us set the basics for the audience that is listening to the podcast, so they can actually understand that it is indeed pretty important.
Yeah, so it is crucial to me. I do not understand content without SEO. So for me, content marketing has two parts, right? Like content on one side and marketing the other, right? So content, sure, you create something, but marketing is how you distribute it. And I feel, and the strategy and the data. So I feel that's way more important than the actual content itself. If I had to, choose between the two of them. And I feel SEO is what helps you distribute the content and really reach people.
Do people actually know what SEO is? I mean, I'm talking about brands right now. Do brands really understand the power behind SEO and how to do it? And which one will be the core characteristics of a proper content strategist like yourself, Because a lot of people, you can find a lot of people in social media saying, I'm a content strategist, I'm doing content, I'm a content expert. They really aren't, It's not like that. I mean, they are not content experts. So which ones do you feel will be the real professional traits, the real characteristics, the real proficiencies of a content marketing expert nowadays?
That's a great question. You said a lot of things. I feel now brands are more aware about the importance of SEO. So I think we've come across a long way in that sense. So they're good.
Learning.
They are learning. They know why we have to have that. So that's good. As for the skills, again, it comes back to what these two words mean. Content, sure. You need to be creative, right? And you need to know how to write well or how to produce content, storytelling, that's important. But to me, it really comes down to the marketing part. So to me, being analytical is really important, really understand the data, being able to translate just numbers into actual insights and decisions that you can then put into actions. So to me, those are the really, really skills that you need to develop in order for you to be called a strategist or expert.
Okay, now Ana, one of the great or biggest issues in the marketing world is how to make something profitable, especially when you're talking about a sales channel like marketing channel. What about content marketing channels? How can a brand make those content marketing channels profitable? And please give us some examples of what would be your ideal content marketing channel.
Yeah, so for me, again, we need to set the right expectations. I feel that's super important because with paid advertising and other channels, you really have control over your ROI, right? And it's kind of easier to measure in that sense. With content marketing, it's a bit more complicated because there is so many touch points in the funnel that if you just have yourself saying, okay, if I don't get sales, then this is not profitable, then you're on the wrong path. Like I would say, don't even invest in it because it will just not make sense for your business. And that can be totally okay. Like if you don't want to invest on it, there are way many more strategies out there that you can try out.
So you wouldn't say that content marketing is for direct sales? That's not the end goal here.
I don't think so, or at least for most companies. I mean, every industry is different, every company is different, right? Like it's not the same to try to sell B2B to big companies where your average ticket is like 1,000 euros than if you're just selling a pair of sneakers for 50 euros. So that of course is going to change, and you know, the content that you can produce can actually help you reach more conversions. But I think we need to have the expectations of, okay, what you are doing this for? And if you ask me that question, what do you do content marketing for? For me, it's more about trying to reach the potential customer. So it does have to be a potential customer. You cannot just reach everyone, but try to reach it in different points of the funnel. So when they are ready to buy, they will come to you and buy the product.
So it's not, I mean, and I know it sounds stupid, but believe me, it happens. This is not creating content just for the sheer pleasure of creating content. There is a logic here. You have to create a content for a specific point in the funnel and for a specific kind of buyer, your buyer persona or whatever is your target, isn't it?
Exactly. So this is where strategy comes in, right? So you may have content for really awareness stage where they're just, getting to know about the problem. They don't even feel you are the solution because they don't even know they have a problem. So you could just be there creating content. But also it can be, done the funnel ready like as a part of the solution or even after. So if you have like a complicated product that it needs kind of educating, like for example, SiteGround, we do need that education part even for customers. So content marketing is not only about getting new customers, but also keeping the ones that you have and like making them more successful. And hopefully, they will be also successful with us.
I think this leads us into something that I've loved so much since I know you a few years ago already. It's the video creation, the content video creation, especially for precisely doing that, teaching how to use any given tool to your customer base. I sense that that's what you're doing with SiteGround right now also. So tell us a little bit about video content creation and their main uses. One of is the one that you already mentioned. But is this profitable? Does this make sense for all kinds of companies and brands? And how would you tackle video creation? How would you approach this?
So videos are really expensive to make, and it really takes a lot of effort to get them right. So I would say no, it's not for everyone. Like you need to have some sort of budget, and that's just, it's what it is. So if you're a small brand or just a small freelance, perhaps videos just don't make sense for you. Because I feel a lot of people say like, oh, it's 2024, you gotta do videos.
You gotta be on video.
Like you have to do it.
No, it's not like that.
It's not like that, at least for me. It makes sense for some industries, for some people. So for example, in our case, when I started at Shopify, is a complex product. We are asking the customer to run their own business, right, online. So it's not just like, pick ads over the other competitors. It's just about running a whole business. So they do need all the education. They need how to do marketing and how to run a business. And how
especially Shopify was a subscription-based company. So happiness was pretty much, the big deal. It's always a big deal. But in Shopify, it meant that if the client was not happy, he could easily cut the subscription the next month and that's it. You lost it forever. So it was teaching them how to use the tool. Yeah, it was really important.
Exactly. How to be successful in what they are doing, just hoping that, they will stay with us. And it is the same with SiteGround indeed. Like the business is different. So we focus on providing hosting services. But again, you need to have a website, and your website needs to be successful in order for you to keep it, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense. So we will help you with our content to be successful. Like that's our end goal.
That's what you're doing with the videos right now. Now, those videos is there any perfect channel for you? Like I will work always with YouTube, or I like Vimeo, or which one is the platform that you will recommend as the best from a marketing perspective also? I mean, not only for the quality of the video itself, but from a marketing perspective, which one is the one that you can actually do marketing actions on that platform, you know?
Yeah. So for me, it's YouTube. I mean, it's the second most popular search engine in the world after
That's it.
Google.
After Google.
So if we just look at video search engines, that's
a powerful argument.
It's a powerful argument. So I would say YouTube. That's the place you want to be.
And you can do SEO in YouTube also, because people is not aware of this.
Yeah, so
I was not aware of this. I think like 3 years ago, I was not aware of this. And thanks to Ana, I realized that you can actually do SEO on YouTube.
So you can. It's completely different from the one you do in Google, but you can do it because, as I said, it's a search engine as well as social media platform. So SEO is actually pretty fun there because you have to kind of make the balance between the search engine and the social media algorithm. So it's fun to play around with that, and yes, you can do SEO there.
And do you think that you can actually use YouTube for lead generation? Because this is something that I've been dealing with recently, and it's increasing the amount of companies that are asking for YouTube videos that can produce leads, you know, that can sell. Can you actually sell or at least produce a solid lead from YouTube?
I'm convinced that you can sell. I'm not that sure that you can measure it. It's really hard. I mean, we could get into dark social here and all that. Just to make things simple, you cannot expect someone to watch a video, click on the link, and sign up.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's just. I mean, good for you if you can get that, but it's gonna be complicated. A small exception would be like if you're selling simpler products with affiliate links, for example, and they get a discount. So it's easier that the sale happen on that time, but it's not that useful with like when you're doing your own videos. So if you're just gonna focus on, I'm gonna get sales or a lead, then
it's not necessarily gonna happen.
It's not necessarily gonna happen. But I mean, the question is, why do we keep doing videos?
Yes. Why?
Why? Because they work, and we know that. We assume that, and that's why we keep doing them. We cannot have, like the data there that really tells you, okay, you got 1,000 leads this month. That's, it's easier with blog, for example. It's easier to generate leads. With YouTube, not so much. But I mean, if brands keep doing it, and I mean, I'm still doing it at SiteGround. You gotta trust me here. Like, it is working. That's why we are investing on it.
No, actually, you can actually, up to a point, you can measure it. Because I remember on the YouTube channel for Shopify, Ana's videos got on the thousands of views, which was really amazing. I mean, if you see that, you're obviously realizing that whatever you did is getting reach, is being echoed through the community. Yeah. Now, precisely talking about successful cases, can you share with us like 3 success stories that you have worked with or that you would recommend?
Yeah, so I have more like techniques that I'm like, I always use because they work really well. The first one is do not think as content as one unique piece.
Okay.
So to me, everything is interconnected. So
blogs, videos,
like I cannot choose a channel. I cannot choose just one format. So if I have a blog post, it's going to have a downloadable, may have a video, and that video is also going to have it downloadable. I can do email marketing and send that PDF over, and and I can even run paid advertising campaigns with that ebook. So it's all about how you connect all the dots and how you make your campaign like more successful in that sense. So it's not that I just write a blog post and then my job is done. I can rest for the rest of the day. Like everything is like within, all sort of channels and campaigns.
So we still have 2 more to go, 2 more advices from Ana, and the next one will be?
The next one will be data. So I've been saying you can measure things, but there are so many things that you can actually measure. So, and then we come back to marketing part, right? So here we come back to analytics and,
We're still talking about YouTube. I mean, using YouTube.
We are talking about YouTube, but it could also be like blog, any other channel. The channel is going to provide you metrics that are valuable and that is going to help you to set some benchmarks, so is this piece of content successful or not? It will depend on, your previous pieces of content. So when it comes to YouTube, then we have the views and the subscribers. Those things are going to tell you whether you're doing a good job or not.
Which one do you think it's more important from a brand perspective, views or interactions in the YouTube video?
That's I cannot live without one of them, so don't make me choose.
Both,
I think
both.
both.
Views is really important because it tells
measures
you
the reach.
the reach,
Yeah.
exactly. How many people is accessing your content? Because they could be watching your content for hours, but if it's only 10 people, then what's the point of making a
Yeah.
video that costs like 1,000 euros to produce?
Per
So-
video.
Per video.
And that's a really modest approach to video production. But yes, it's like 1,000 euros per video. Yeah.
For example. So what's the point if only 10 people are going to watch it? Then you would come to me and tell me, well, this is not bring me any money back, and I would understand, like, do not make videos just for 10 people. So you do need those views, and then you need those views to be, you know, like that people stay longer, that they watch the content, they give comments, you know, they engage in that sense. So that's super important as well.
I was having a discussion with a brand recently, and we were talking about authority, you know, and then they were mentioning like we would like to have a YouTube channel. We are not a big brand; I mean, it's a small brand, but we would like to have a YouTube channel because we believe that videos create a higher authority than blogs. You know, that people, when they watch a video, they feel more invested in the video. They trust the video more, the video content than the blog. What do you feel about that? Is it true that video is like more prestigious, it creates bigger authority? It might make sense even if you don't get sales.
It really builds an audience. So what I've seen is like they really relate to you and they relate to the host of the videos. And I've had like people reaching out to me personally, and like the comments are about, you know, the host. And that's really amazing because with blog you don't have that much, you know, it's just a piece of information that you read. But with the video, like you kind of connect with someone. And if you make those videos really personal, then you see there is someone behind the brand. So it's not the brand anymore, but it's the person
It humanizes
talking.
the brand,
Yeah,
you know?
it
makes
does, definitely.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing that happens with the podcast. You know, people feel more attached to the brands because they feel like, oh, there's real people there, you know, doing something. And the third one, we still have one pending, Ana. Are you ready?
I'm ready. And it's something that you shouldn't do.
That's great.
So do not do content marketing without really having a purpose, a budget, and a strategy behind it. So many companies just want to get into the game because it's 2024. We got to do videos, we got to do content marketing.
Out of desperation,
Out of desperation, everybody's doing it, so I have to do it as well. But unless you really know why, then, and you know what your metrics are, what you can expect in terms of traffic, views, whatever the channel is, then you're not going to be successful. So I've seen a lot of brands still today, you know, that they produce tons of content because content, like every company needs content, but they do not have the strategy part. So no, I'm going to write about this because my audience will love it. Who is your audience?
Who is your audience?
Who asked you for this content?
That's the first question.
Yeah, like, how many of them are there in that audience? You know, is it 10 people or 10,000? Because if, an article can cost you 200, 300 euros and video 1,000 or more. So how many people are going to really enjoy and read?
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you don't know
content?
what you're doing, you're burning through the money, you know.
Exactly, yeah. So you may as well just do any other stuff with your money, like going on vacation. I think it would be better invested than, you know, just...
It will yield better results. Now, Ana, talking about precisely what not to do, you know, the common pitfalls for content marketing, which ones would you think would be like nowadays, in 2024, the main pitfalls that you see brands making that mistake over and over and over and over again?
So for me, translation, localization, transcreation, you want to call it whatever.
Whatever you want to call it.
Whatever, it's all the same to me.
It's an issue.
It's an issue, yeah, it is. So now I'm global head of content, so I work with several markets now.
You're talking, you're working with how many languages?
So,
5, 6, 7?
No, for now, that's another important thing. Step by step, little by little. Do not start with 12 languages at once. So now I'm doing Spanish, Italian, and English.
Okay.
We will start with that, although SiteGround also has content in German and French.
Okay.
But yes, we need to kind of do this step by step and really think about it locally. So I understand you're gonna go global, but in the end you're just gonna go locally. And if you go locally, then it's when you actually can be successful.
Do you feel like brands think that just because they can auto-translate something using an AI into Spanish is going to work the same in Mexico than in Spain, than in Chile, than in Colombia. I mean, it's not like that, isn't it?
It's not like that. And I mean, I could actually argue that, okay, it's Spanish and Latin America, it's kind of the same, we can have the same content. So no, but okay. But when you go to another language, then it just doesn't work. And again, it comes back to SEO and how you're going to distribute the content. The needs are not the same, the keywords are not the same.
Yeah, the search intent is different.
The search intent is different. So if you are just going to have 20 articles translated into English or into Spanish, whatever market you are going for, it's just not going to work, unfortunately. So again, you could better save that money and not have marketing in Spain or in France. You can just live without it. But if you're gonna invest on it, then mind that you have to invest on it like locally and have like people, I don't know if in-house or freelance, but really that create the content from scratch and that is not just like a translation.
Because that, we know it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Believe us, we know it doesn't.
I've tried.
We've tried
many times and it does not.
Now, with second pitfall, which one do you think it will be like the second most common mistake that companies do when they are planning their strategies for content marketing?
Okay. The second one is my audience wants.
My audience wants. That's deadly, you know. That's kind of, and everybody does that. Everybody feels like they know what their audience wants without looking at the numbers, you know, the statistics.
Exactly. So who is that audience and how many people are in them? I've encountered this so many times, like we have to create content because my audience, my customers need this. But really back this up with data. So, and I don't want to bring, you know, all of it come back to, again, SEO, but SEO is a big part of it. So, and especially because we are expecting those channels to just, you know, content marketing is another word for organic. And if that's how you understand...
At least in the mind of the people.
Exactly, at least in the mind of the people. And if that's how you understand, like if you are expecting people to just come to you and, you know, read or watch that content, then those topics have to be reachable and have to have that audience already because we are not creating one, we are just accessing the one that exists. So in that sense, you do need SEO. And if you need it, like you have to look at the keywords and then say, okay, it's not my customers actually don't want that. They want this instead. Or, okay, we could reach these, you know, with this side keyword that without being the same topic, it's kind of related and, you know, still could drive qualified
Yeah, keep
traffic.
in mind that just because you're passionate about the way that you organize your warehouse, it doesn't mean that a 24-page long brick of a document about that is going to be appealing to your audience. Keep always that in mind. Search what they really want and not only what you feel like, oh, I love this, you know, it's because it's not necessarily like that in real life, okay?
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
It's definitely not. And I mean, it seems obvious now that we are talking about it, but I've seen like this happening over and over again. And
a lot of SEOs, you know, a lot of CEOs and managers saying like, we should talk about this, and then you quickly realize it's because the guy likes that, you know,
Exactly.
not necessarily.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes you could even argue that those are actually good topics, like the audience will actually like them, and I could agree on that, but then you go and check, you know, the actual search
and it's
potential,
dead.
and it's zero.
It's absolutely
and it's like,
dead.
okay, let's just focus on something else. The only exception would be, okay, no, Ana, I'm not gonna focus on SEO. I'm gonna distribute this content with emails. I'm gonna run advertisement campaigns. I'm gonna, I don't know, present it at a trade show or whatever. Like you do with the content what you want. Then in that case, okay, like we don't need SEO, and therefore, if you think this topic
Yeah, I mean,
would work,
if you are searching the content just out of the content value by itself, you can use it for whatever.
exactly, you
product
could
you
use
like.
it even for customers. Like if you
Yeah.
want to add it to the dashboard, for example, of your account, then that's great. But if you're just relying on organic reach, then
If it's not interesting, it's not interesting.
exactly.
And the third pitfall and last one.
So also linked to this, I've said we cannot access all the data, but there's so much data that we can access. So if we can, then we have to. And that's like super important. And it would surprise, I guess it wouldn't surprise you, but it would surprise you watching here.
Oh, I know. It's going to be Google Analytics. Oh, no.
You know, Google Analytics being one of them, set it up correctly. for example. I mean, obvious.
Such
but
a basic thing, and so many companies doesn't even have their basic analytic tools, in this case Google Analytics, but it could be any other one, properly set up so they can actually get the core data of their business, you know?
yeah, I mean, again, it's like really basic, and I've been in quite a lot of companies already, some bigger, some smaller. I'm not gonna say anything, I'm not gonna call out names here, but you would be surprised about how many big companies
don't have
any clue about the actual data. Because when you start involving like developers and more people in the team and the data analysts, and you know, they all have different priorities, and then you cannot access the basic data, whether it's like, you know, is this article good or not? Or what's the performance? How is my customer acquisition, you know, looking like? Are they coming from organic or from paid? Like, you know, those are basic things that you need to know. Or like, you know, these CTAs, are they getting like downloads or not? This is super basic, but you would be surprised how many companies actually don't have this set up properly. So yes, I feel having the data that you can have and working with it,
it's fundamental.
It's fundamental. So to me, again, it's like we have content, right? That's important. And we are copywriters and storytellers, but it's not about so much the content that we create, but the insights. And that's how, you know, the marketing part again. So to me, something that I really like about marketing is like you have the answer, like you go to the exam with a cheat sheet. So you just have to kind of make sense of all the data, because data is just useless.
And use it, it's there, you know, just go use it.
Exactly. So you translate this data into insights, those insights into decisions, and then you have the answer. Like it's gonna be a 10 out of 10. Like, because it's there, like it's like a puzzle. Once you complete the puzzle, you see the big picture and it looks nice. So that's what I like about marketing. It's not about guessing so much. So when you can access the data, please do.
I guess there's a lot of marketers out there that have just had a minor heart attack with what you were saying. Like, you don't have to be guessing. It's not like, a lot of people sell marketing like that, you know, like, oh, we don't know, this is an obscure art, it's some sort of arcana, you know, magic here, but it is not. It is not. You have the data there. You can plan accordingly, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've said that before, that you cannot have all the data. So there is some assumptions that you have to make, but also
the cores are there.
The cores are there. And I feel if you look at the right metrics, you set the right KPIs, the right expectations, then content marketing can be the, you know, like a measurable channel or a strategy. So.
Okay, now here we go. This has been an amazing episode because I love Ana and it's amazing, and I've suffered the same things she had suffered, so we kind of connect at multiple levels. So let's go into what you're actually doing right now in SiteGround. Tell us a little bit about SiteGround also, so we can actually understand and our audience can actually know what SiteGround is and what offers, and what you are doing right now there as an example of a content strategy.
Okay. So SiteGround is mainly a hosting service provider. So we provide hosting services to our customers, from small businesses to freelancers and agencies. So the products really range from different plans. So it scales.
It fits accordingly to the needs.
It fits accordingly to the needs of many people. And we sell globally. So we are present in many countries. So what I'm here for, and it's a pretty good challenge, a new challenge as well for me, because I've been here only for 2 months. I'm in charge of the content team. That also works globally. I'm hiring for Spanish, Italian. So it's a challenge. It's an adventure. It's gonna be an adventure. I'm super excited, honestly. But yeah, the idea is just to apply everything that I've done in the past that I know it works, and try new things that, you know, who knows if it will, but I hope they will work. So yeah, I'm just coming here to work with the content team that already exists, build a new one for the external markets, and just make things work with content and marketing. So it's gonna be exciting.
Pretty much a challenge, isn't it? I mean, global markets are always a challenge because you're dealing with different cultural differences, regional differences, logistic differences, even technological at maturity levels differences. Definitely. Yeah, I remember when we were producing content with Shopify a few years ago, and we were producing content for the blog for Mexico. And it struck me as I was amazed. I was flabbergasted, as the Americans said. You know, when I saw that in Mexico they pay online payments on cash on shops. You know, like these 7-Eleven shops. They go there and they call them Oxxo. That's the name of the brand of those shops in Mexico. And they pay in hard cash. You know, in money, physical money for online products that they buy online. And so you realize there is a huge technological level and a huge psychological level even between the people. I mean, the way they approach e-commerce in Mexico is completely different than the way they approach e-commerce in Spain. This translates to all industries and all businesses. That's why Ana before said that translation and localization is not the same as just taking something, dropping it into an AI so it can make the translation into the language and that's it. No, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. And even with like the best translation team, it's not gonna cut it because the interests are different, the needs are different, the traffic potential that you can get and the reach is so different that you can just not translate, unfortunately.
Now we're reaching the very end of this amazing episode now, and I would like to know which one will be your main advice for companies that are wishing to deal into content marketing? They want to start into content marketing. I mean, if you can lay down a path, like 1, 2, 3 steps, clear steps for them to start, and which one will be your main advice for them?
Okay, so budget.
Budget, that's the first one. Budget.
That's the first one. Because
we ain't gonna lie here. If you don't have the money.
Exactly. But I think I have to say this because many people have lied in the past. So
Yes.
I come here in 2024 to say that content marketing is not free. You have all these blog articles talking about, organic strategies were free, writing an article is free, and having a video is free. Yeah, it's free if you do it. But I mean, how are you going to make it yourself? Do you have the time?
Yeah, people make the mistake of mixing up in their brains the fact that you don't pay for an advertising campaign with the fact that whatever you produce is free. It's not necessarily like that. I mean, it's not like that actually. Producing the content is never free. Either if you do it and then you invest your skills, your time and your effort into it, and then that could be easily translated into money. Or if you pay someone, which is most likely what's going to happen because a business owner is dealing with his business, is not creating content. So you will find a specialist like Ana and you will pay because you have to pay. Otherwise, there is no way to do it. A lot of money. And there is no way to do this if you don't invest. So you need to have some sort of resources to do content marketing.
Exactly. Unfortunately, you do because everything is going to cost you money. From writing to uploading to...
Despite the fact that you let her pay for the campaigns. That's another thing.
Exactly, yeah. Just for the sake of creating the content, you will need money. You will need money or time for planning the campaign, for the after, reviewing the campaign. So every step which is gonna
cost money.
And that's money going, out of your bank account. So is content marketing for everyone? No. You have to take away with something that's it. It may not be for you, and that's completely okay.
It's valid. Nothing happens. Okay.
Nothing happens. Depending on the business, you can do local marketing. I don't know, TV.
Well, I know a lot of successful brands. I can mention one that it's a really good dear friend, Cherry Pink from Mexico, which is the swimwear and beachwear and swimsuits brand. They have never done content marketing at all, and it is incredibly successful. I mean, not what I will consider content marketing, proper content marketing. What they do is a traditional marketing. They take a photo shoot of whatever product they are going to sell, and then they pay for that. They do advertising campaigns for that, and it works. It works wonderfully. But that kind of product, I mean, you don't need to explain anyone how to put on a swimsuit. Well, at least I hope, and so. That will be the first step. You have to pay. I mean, the second.
You have to have a budget and they have to make sense for you. So once you decide, okay, this indeed makes sense for me, I'm going to do it, and I have this amount of money that I can, have, then start thinking, okay, what are my priorities? Because you will not be able to produce a million articles and a million videos. So you have to kind of set priorities. Again, coming back to would it make sense for you and your business. So here's where the strategy kind of comes. How often can I publish? How often, what channels can I access? Can I do downloadable content? What type? How many? So just to give you an idea, like at SiteGround, we are a 10 people team. we are hiring more. So 10 people is only for English content. So you get an idea.
Take a note of those numbers,
Exactly. I mean, how much is that per year? It's a lot of money. So I'm not saying you need a 10 people team or else you cannot do any content. For sure, when I started, it was just me. So one person in the team and that was enough. But of course, we were not producing the same amount of content that now I am producing with a 10 people team.
So whenever you reach out to one of these snake oil vendors that we have a lot of them in marketing, unfortunately, and they tell you, I'm going to be giving you 1 content per day. Keep in mind that he's talking bullshit probably, because that's absolutely impossible. I mean, and if he's doing that, it's suspicious, You need a large team to actually be able to produce a huge amount of content, and it might not even be needed, that amount of content.
No. So perhaps you just need, a few tutorials and that's it. And then once you complete them, then you don't need more. Or you just need a few downloadables to, boost your lead generation and that's it. So it will really depend on your...
What are you creating that content for?
Exactly. That's super important. Like, why are you creating this? What is it for? If you cannot answer that question, then don't do it.
And the third and last one?
Always get back to data. So you will have to try things, and you do them for the first time, you will just not know whether you're doing it right or wrong. So you have to try, test it out, and then see if what you're doing works, or else then you will have to pivot and do something else.
Ana, and with this last question, we close this episode. If you have to give only one advice, one single advice, only one, to a company that is listening to you right now and they want to start doing their content marketing channel and they want to be successful in their content marketing strategy, which one will that be?
Start now. If you have decided that, yes, you want to do it, you have the budget and you have everything in place, then the best moment to start, if not yesterday, it's not.
It's not.
So the longer you wait, the worse it's going to be, because also another thing with organic content or content marketing is it takes time to see results. So you have to be patient and you have to be willing to put all that work without really knowing until a bit of time has passed. So yeah, start now.